we go. Yet another car. So this is a Mercedes. She's brand spanking new. I just drove it, just around the block, and I didn't like it at all.
Mary, you gotta give it a full week. We gotta do a whole week of Mary's drives. Maybe you'll come to love the new GLE.
Okay, one really nice thing about daylight savings in the fall is that it's much brighter in the morning. So good morning, welcome to another Mary Drives. Let's turn her on. Very quiet, wake up. Hello? Hey, chill out. That seems unnecessary. Anyway, we are sitting in the Mercedes-Benz GLE 450 4MATIC SUV, which is a long title and sounds a little bit like a robot trying to learn English. Or alternatively, the quadratic formula. You know, the x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That could be a Mercedes. God, the floor rug is struggling to stay in place. All right, guys, you know the gambit. We're gonna go through noise. We're gonna go through comfort, steering, practicality, safety, and vibes. So the only other Mercedes that I've driven was that E-Class from the dark ages. I named her Betty. We had a really rough relationship, the two of us. So this one is newer, but it remains to be seen if it's better. But that's what we're gonna find out in this week that we drive this car. Why are you not turning? Dude, you're in the turn lane, turn! So, this is an SUV. There's no third row. We'll check out the comfort back there in a little bit. But the first section, as usual, is noise. And it's very quiet. It's also a very windy day today, so it's kind of like double impressive that you're not hearing a lot going on outside. There are some just weird noises that come from the car. Like every time I put it in reverse, there's kind of like a clunk. It's kind of chonky. It's weird. It's like, it's smooth and sleek, but it's also a little bit like clonky. So it's like a snake who swallowed some marbles a little. But the engine doesn't make any noise. The car is a mild hybrid, which I very recently learned about. A mild hybrid is basically like a tame tiger, a tiger who can't hunt on her own. That battery can't take you anywhere on her own. Anyway, this is a luxury crossover. It's the Green Arrow. Not a ton of complaints with the actual road noise. The engine is almost like spookily quiet. Like when you turn it on, you don't even hear like the that was my best impression of an engine, please be kind. So that's kind of strange. It also has like the auto hold. And usually like, I always turn that off because I kind of hate it, but when that is on, usually when you like lift your foot off the brake, you hear the engine start again. And in this one, you just can't, like you just don't hear the engine start. Speaking of the engine, let's talk about her. So this one is a 3.0 liter straight six turbo engine. She's got like 300 some horsepower, 300 some pound-feet of torque, and you can feel it. Like you can feel she gets up and goes. Yeah. And this GLE does have a lot of engine options. You can get the twin turbo V8, and you can get an inline 4, but the one we are experiencing is the straight 6 turbo. And since we are doing the noise section, it's quiet. It's quiet on the road, it's quiet from the engine. However, the car itself does make a lot of kind of clicking, clunking, and chunking noises. They're kind of hard to hear maybe on camera. Okay, ready? I want to see if you can hear the clunking coming from the back. Reverse. Did you hear that? Yeah, so that's a weird thing, and it freaked me out the first time I got in it, as I've expressed before. Every car that I jump into, I'm afraid I'm gonna break. But yeah, maybe it's the backup camera, because the loudest I hear it is when it's in reverse. There's a guy looking at me in his truck. It's pretty cool. F-150 you got there, sir. Move along. So yeah, those clunks are a little bit weird, but overall, the noise is good. It's good. I'd give it a 7 because I don't like it when my car is making sounds that sound like it's braking, but maybe that's just me. What do I know? Also, last night I was driving it, and at one point, like, it stopped my music and said, "Caution, skidding possible." Huh? Which is actually kind of a cool safety feature, but it wasn't even cold, and it wasn't like ice or snow or anything, so that was also a little bit strange. So yeah, noise is a 7. Let's move on. Oh, my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy. when skies like gray. Okay, hello, good morning. Next section is comfort. We're gonna feel out the vehicle. So right off the bat, the seats are enormously bolstered for some reason, which to me, I guess screams luxury. This is not the softest leather I've ever felt in my life, but maybe I'm becoming a snob. I mean, like, if I hopped into this compared to like my RAV4, I'd be like, oh my God, is luxury beyond belief. But like, since I've sat in so many vehicles now, it's like kind of like, well, I've seen better. It's certainly not the most comfortable seat I've ever sat in, but it feels durable, I think, is the biggest thing with this material. And as is custom for Mercedes, they have this, so you can adjust your seat from a seat, and that's nice. The seats are heated, ventilated. What does that do? Where's that button? I'm gonna research that soon. What does that button do? After I research it, I'll tell you what it does. It does this. I think the seats are perfectly comfortable for driving around town. I don't know if they would be very comfortable on like a long road trip, to be honest with you. They feel a little firm, but maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. Oh, check this out. Okay, huge panoramic sunroof. That's awesome. I love that it closes. Let's check out the backseat. Backseat time. We have a lime green snow brush, which is nice, albeit not very helpful in terms of, oh, there's a cover. That ruined my plan a little bit for tossing that back there. Let's be so for real. It's roomy for one. I mean, my driving position is further up than most. This one's a little bit further back. Let's try that. Yeah. No, it's roomy. They did a good job making sure that the backseat passenger doesn't feel like you're in a room where the walls are closing in on you. However, there's a pretty tremendous lack of amenities. The seats are not heated or cooled back here. You do have a couple of USB-C ports, but you have no climate control. You have access to wind. You have a couple vents. There's this, which is also really firm. Yeah, like if this back seat was a monarchy, it would be one of strict, pristine, sterile operations. Does not feel homey back here. I'll leave it at that. There is mesh back here, which is unique. Feels like that would age poorly. Yeah, see, like there's not a lot to be seen back here. There's this little shallow cubby, which, what could you fit in there? Oh, check this out though. Ambient lighting extends back here. The ambient lighting is really neat in here. Driving at home in the dark. Actually, let me just show you. So the ambient lighting in here is awesome. It goes right along this trim and you see it changing colors right now. I don't know if it's flickering in the frame rate of the camera, but even if not, okay, great. It's yellow right now. But when I was driving home, I noticed that it slowly started morphing into kind of like a sea blue. Here it goes. Right now it's kind of fading into that white, and then it really owns the blue. Isn't that cool? And it's even right here. Like, you kind of feel like you're in a spaceship. It feels very space movie-esque. It's a huge vibe point for this car. In terms of the comfort on the road, it's very smooth on the road. I think the transmission is a little bit clunky. I've noticed that like when I hit the brakes, it's just like a little jerky, but the suspension is great. Like I said, it's pretty quiet. I'm on the street with a pretty decent amount of speed bumps, so I just kind of want to test out the suspension for reals. Really nice. Yeah. So the ride is super smooth, and that is what I would expect in a luxury SUV. The ride quality is rather decadent. You feel important. That's a fat dog, holy moly. I drive an hour every single day, and I was not uncomfortable after sitting in here for an hour. So I'll give comfort overall a 7. If I were just to rate that back seat, it would probably be closer to the 5 range. We have the technology to make the second seat passengers comfortable, and we're not doing it a lot of the time for some reason. One other thing that I don't like comfort-wise is this. I understand that the floor mat can clip, but my God, let it clip on both sides. There's only a clip on this side, and that's just dangerous, guys. It is late afternoon, and the sun is already going down, so that sucks. There's that sound again. Did you hear it? It's freaking me out. All right, next section is steering. I've said this many times before, and I will say it right now again. It is a short section because usually if the car turns, woohoo, good job, you passed. If you want a little bit more information about this car's steering, I can give it to you. I would describe it as luxurious. It's lackadaisical, it's laid back, it's a little bit heavier, I would describe it. It's not like super sharp or tight, like you can definitely swivel a little and you're not really leaving your lane too much. So yeah, I mean, the car turns, so pass. There's an old lady in that car kind of like chewing on her hands. That made me feel weird. The wheel itself is really nice. It's leather wrapped. It has kind of a litany of buttons, which I would recommend figuring out before you hit the road, because there are, just from looking at them, like 9 per side. They look haptic, but they're touch. You can press them, but the volume knob is kind of a touch situation. Also, the wheel has paddle shifters, so that's cool. But yeah, in terms of steering, like I said, short category. It's a little loose, not turning on a dime, just a little bit more luxurious, a little bit more laid back. So we'll give steering a 9 because she does what she's supposed to do. I knocked it off a point because I'm not a huge fan of a little bit of a looser situation. The looser feel is not my favorite, so that's why I knocked it a point. But it's controlled and it is smooth. And that's really all you can ask for. Next section is practicality, and Tommy's here because Jen is not.
I'm sorry to be ruining Mary's vibe in this video, but we gotta talk about practicality of the GLE. And first things first, Mary, this car is the right size.
It is a good size. That's actually a really good take. I have experienced much more cumbersome vehicles, and this one did not make me feel that way. I was easy to maneuver. I felt nimble, like Jack over the candlestick.
And I mean, the chief competitor to this car is a BMW X5, but I think in a lot of ways I like this car more because I know it's controversial, but I kind of like the eggy, smoothed out look.
That is controversial and a bad take. A lot of cars are kind of going for the egg look right now. I mean, look at the profile of this thing. I mean, it's not as eggy as some I've seen. That Nissan Leaf was really eggy. All Teslas are really eggy. Not that those are competitors for this at all, but it's just like, why are we doing that?
You know what is practical?
Tell me.
A lot of modern cars have stupid electronic door handles.
This is the OG handle.
And another practical thing about this car, this has got a fairly basic interior as GLEs go, and these seats are a very, very durable vinyl, which will outlast the end of time.
Yeah, I did mention that the seats feel really durable. It is a little weird that it's a luxury SUV without real leather, though.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think part of Mary's week this week has been a little soiled by the fact that this car is very oddly spec'd. Because I've been in these, have these beautiful leather interiors and full stitch dashes, and this is kind of that base model version, which doesn't feel as good. And my argument is if you're spending 80 grand on a car, you might as well spend 90.
Tommy, can I show you the infotainment system really quick? It grinds my gears a little because it's just, they have this little thing, this little pad right here. And initially I was like, what's this for? It doesn't move at all. It's literally for your wrist. Strange. And this is like, why is this here? Do you know what this is about, these handles?
Yeah, because she's a race car, Mary.
Right, okay.
One thing which I do think is really, really great compared to some of the other new Mercedes is it still has some physical buttons. So like you still have a volume control down here, a little toggle for sliding up and down. You still have physical controls for the climate control, and your favorite feature. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
What is reverse cowgirl?
Reverse cowgirl is a term primarily used to describe a sexual position where one person sits or straddles another person, facing away from them.
She's informed.
She's informed.
Anyway, I agree actually. I do like the physical buttons. I did just find the infotainment system a little bit perplexing. Like, how do you think you how do you go to the next track? Try. Wrong.
Is it a swipe?
It's the swipe. So there's like, is it haptic or is it not?
I think once you get past that, the actual tile system in here kind of makes sense. Like it's pretty self-explanatory, and I think it is pretty crisp. And thank goodness it has physical controls here for like your air vents. But I do think that this whole thing can just go away. Should we check out the back seat?
Absolutely, we should.
All right, this is Mary's driving position at 4'3".
5'7" for the record.
So if Sabrina Carpenter was driving this car, you'd have tons of space back here. But even at a normal seating position, you actually have pretty good room.
The one thing I will give this back seat is the room.
Yes.
Everything else is lacking.
Well, it doesn't have heated rear seats. It doesn't have the peasant blockers back here, right? Weirdly though, it does have the Burmeister premium sound.
Which are awesome.
So it kind of an interesting mix of features in this one.
Very interesting. Also, this mesh stuff back here is a weird call.
This is a classic Mercedes feature. They've been doing this for like 47,000 years. Let's check out the trunk. We need to show the...
Oh my gosh, yes, okay. When you put this car in reverse, this little guy. Guys, do you remember when I was complaining about that sound, the clunking it was making? It was that. It's the rear view camera popping out. That is super impractical to me. If I feel like my car is mechanically breaking down, that feels like a problem.
But it glides away so you can't see it. And then it just, look at this. It even has its own little cover, so you can't access it. Oh,
yeah.
it's like Tony Stark.
Why you need that though?
You don't.
I don't get it.
All right.
Cargo space. Pretty decent, actually.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, this part's practical because you can fit a decent amount of luggage, kind of anything.
So Mary quite famously has at all times in her car a microphone, a beach ball, and the full series of Twilight, the book series. Would that fit back here?
Absolutely, it would. 2 beach balls even.
It does have a space saver spare tire back here, so if you get a flat tire, you are safe there. Yeah, this is a 2 beach ball trunk.
This is pretty nice.
Comfy.
It's even kind of high.
So what do you think on the practicality rating? Where you at?
Practicality for me is landing at an 8.
I think that's a fair score, yeah. I mean, I think that there is some quirks with the screen, which I agree, and for 80 it should have some more standard rear features, but in terms of space and overall usability, it's okay.
I'd say so. And while I have Tommy here, I'm just gonna have him do the safety section because he's better at rattling off various different items than me.
Yeah, so GLE comes standard with 9 airbags, which is great, and there's a lot of safety features you can get in this car. For example, this one has blind spot monitoring, emergency braking. It's got the full 360 camera, which is great. It's got adaptive cruise control, but the one miss I have is they don't make things like lane centering standard, which it should be at this price point.
100%.
So, I mean, I think you rate it out of 10. I think a 9 is a fair score.
I would agree. It also has a panic feature, which I think is fun because don't we all have a panic feature? It has a personal space feature, otherwise known as the panic feature, which is when if somebody gets a little too close to your car, or if any sort of door opens without the fob or the key being close to it, it starts panicking.
Panic!
And it lets people know that something's wrong. And realistically, nobody's gonna help.
And one other thing I want to talk about, the other reason it's a 9 and not a 10 is it has a 50,000 mile warranty, which is great, but it's only 4 years, which is a little short. So I do feel, at least me driving this, very safe and secure, and it's got a lot of just, you know, built-in airbags and crumples into goodness. Do you feel safe driving it?
Yeah, it kind of comes back to it's the right size,
yes.
Right? It doesn't feel like you're gonna blow over in high winds, but it also doesn't feel like you're so small somebody's gonna crush you.
I think it's fair.
Today is the last day in the Benz. That means it's time to talk about vibes. The most elusive of categories. Because what is a vibe? It's an aura, a feeling, an atmosphere. It's something cosmic. Oh God, there's no visibility. Oh God, okay, jeez Louise. Vibes are weird. You can catch a vibe, but can you throw a vibe? I don't know. Look, at the beginning of this video, I said, first time I hopped into this car, wasn't the biggest fan. I was very judgmental. Part of that was because it took me like 10 years to figure out how to lower the steering wheel, and that was because I'm an idiot. So I think I've loosened up a little bit since then. It grew on me a little. There are pros and cons. Of course. The pros include that ambient lighting that I showed you. The Burmeister sound system is so good. I had so much fun listening to all of my music through this sound system. It really did give you kind of like a 3D feel. Like it felt like a surround sound. Decent MPG, 19 in the city, 25 on the highway, not terrible. Very smooth, quiet ride inside the cabin. A little bit too loose of a steering wheel for me, a little bit heavy on the steering. A lot of weird clunks, lack of general amenities in the back seat. Overall perplexing infotainment system in terms of what's haptic, what's push. Does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Decent array of safety features. Oh my God, the sun is so bright. So I'm gonna give the vibes a 7. It has the Mercedes branding, which I think kind of inherently is pretty neat. I knocked it a few points because I think they just could have been a little bit more creative in terms of styling and design. And I think there were a few things that made it feel not very luxurious, like the back seat and kind of the eggy shape on the exterior. So yeah, I'm landing this, oh my God, here we go with the name again. Mercedes-Benz GLE 450 4MATIC SUV, somewhere in the B range. It just wasn't an A for me. But hey, that's enough yapping from me. Lord knows I could yap for 10 more hours, but I'm just gonna roll the score credits and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. May you be silly and thrive. Sweet. Hello, slow down, Mitsubishi. Driving through the night, through the dark. Andre is FaceTiming me. Ah, man, there's a school zone. Here goes my friend Ryan. What can I say? I'm a judgmental. That's why you don't clip it to the seatbelt.